You know, I've been covering this town for about 23 years, and one of the things I always try to remember is that what happens inside the Washington Beltway little resembles what is often going on in the rest of the country. So in order to make sure that we get fresh input and fresh perspective, we like to talk to the people who are talking to the people. We want to know what real, honest, hardworking Americans are saying, and today we go out to the Show Me State to check in with one of our America's Voices, McGraw Milhaven of St. Louis talk radio station KTRS. Hey, it's good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Brian, always a pleasure. Thank you for the invite.
We are talking in Washington a lot right now about the stimulus package, which we are now beginning to see may be in the neighborhood of $1.5 trillion total. This is the bailout and the stimulus. $1.5, maybe $2 trillion before it's all said and done. What are your listeners saying about this?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's one person who I've talked to in the last 4 months who thinks that 1 cent is ever going to trickle down into their pockets or somehow help their company. Recently, you've had the big news that Merrill Lynch got all those big bonuses. Think back to the conversation when they wanted to give $15 billion to the auto industry, which is based primarily in the Midwest, right? They shamed the CEOs, they embarrassed the unions to give them $15 billion, right? Now we find out that the Merrill Lynch guys, the middle managers, they got bonuses of what, $3-4 billion? Could you imagine if one of the CEOs of the auto industry execs redid their office and spent $1 million, right? But yet these Wall Street guys, it's a blip on the radar screen for these guys.
Well, McGraw, let me ask you the other side of that, and that is, what are we talking about in Washington that your viewers, your listeners rather, don't care one whit about?
Well, I will tell you, with all due respect, nobody outside of Manhattan and maybe Washington, D.C. care about Caroline Kennedy. We wish her well. We have no disrespect for her, but nobody outside of the people here in the Northern Corridor care about whether Caroline Kennedy is...
What about Blagojevich?
Well, Blagojevich may be a little more interesting because it's, a sort of pay-for-play scam, and it involves the president and some of his people he was bringing to Washington. So I can see how that's a big story. But I will also tell you that that story was missed a lot because what happened with the Senate nominee made Blagojevich a sympathetic figure. He was still governor. They've had plenty of chance to kick him out and to impeach him. They haven't. So what was the big angst over seating his selection to the Senate?
Do you get the sense that a lot of people that listen to your radio program are sort of shaking their heads saying, oh, my gosh, what are they drinking inside the nation's capital?
No question. You think about this for a second. Think about a United States soldier, male or female, coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan, right? They just spent billions of dollars trying to rebuild their country. They come back into this country, and there's suicides are through the roof, depression's through the roof, jobs aren't here, the ones they left. Some of them aren't being rehired for the jobs they had, and the jobs that they had probably are gone now. Think about those people. There are real problems out there, and what are people in Washington talking about? Carly,
I'm going to have to leave it right there, McGraw, but we've got a good sense of everything that's going on, and we appreciate you coming from the Midwest and trying to straighten us out.
It is my pleasure. Anytime.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us here.